Good evening, and thanks very much for this opportunity to speak. I think as a neutral observer, the update is it's 2010, I think. I'm Dutch. I am trying to work a lot with communities in the UK, and that's not always easy. I moved back from Spain 2 years ago. I had some issues with one of the solar projects we were working on, and had the interesting experience of speaking to a representative of a UK political party whose first question was, why do I have to speak to a foreigner when I talk about local community energy? Which was very closely followed by the question, do you actually pay tax in this country? And so that was, my welcome back after being away for 10 years. Just to give you a bit of background, I've always worked in sustainability in various ways, shapes and forms, ranging from being a management consultant to project developer of renewable energy, and then I went over to the dark side. I became an investment banker. I still did renewable energy, but it was all focused on tax avoidance for people with a hell of a lot of money, and how you can invest a lot of money in solar in order to not pay any tax. I've learned a hell of a lot from that, and one of the key things I learned is that working in an investment bank is not really the place for me. So what I did is I left. And that was when the economic crisis hit. And I became a big fan of the new economy because I believed, if people are really messing up this world so badly during an economic crisis, then certainly things will change. So I started working on exciting stuff. I worked on crowdfunding platforms. I worked on peer-to-peer lending. I worked on developing communities in order for people to share services, the sharing economy. There was an article in Wired last week, which was, the sharing economy is dead and we killed it. Which for me was a bit of an eye-opener, but sadly enough, I think it's true. I think not much has actually changed. Short-termism, a culture which is focused really on what's happening in the next 2 years and personal gain is still very much there. And that is when I actually decided that I really wanted to get involved in community energy. I think community energy is where everything that I've ever done comes together. I've been working in the finance sector. I've been working in renewables. I've looked at new economy, and it's all very, very exciting. But in order for a real change to happen, it has to come bottom up. If you see the regulatory environment that we're working in, it's having worked in renewables right now for 20 years, it is a bit like riding the waves, and they go up and you try to get a lot of stuff done, and before you know it, it all goes down again. And we're really, that's where we are at the moment. We are in, it's a period of regulatory uncertainty. We don't know where we're going to get to. But fortunately, there's a hell of a lot of really exciting stuff happening. I mean, even though I agree, feed-in tariffs and the likes are a great mechanism, what's much more exciting is that we're not very far away from a situation in which solar energy costs actually less than alternative ways of generating energy. And in 2 years' time, 3 years' time, it will be cheaper to generate electricity from solar than it is, or definitely from nuclear. So even though we've heard a lot about communities and community energy, I think what is really, really important to realize is that actually what we're doing is we're only at the beginning of that revolution. If you look at the size of community energy, to give you a bit of a feel, over the last couple of years, maybe £40 million was raised through community share offers, which on one hand is a real cause of celebration because there is a hell of a lot of people who've put money into community energy schemes. But on the other hand, it is 2% of the guarantees that the government gives to the Hinkley power station. It is 1/5 of 1% of the total amount that it costs to build Hinkley. And that is, that's something to really think about. And that is the reason why we set up Mongoose. To give you a bit of a feel, Mongoose is a company we work with community energy companies, community energy organizations. What we do is we try to help community energy organizations to get these schemes implemented, to raise money. So this year we're planning to do about £100 million of community share offers in the UK. Up to 2020, we want to raise enough money through community share offers and bank debt and other ways of raising money in order to supply electricity to 500,000 households. This is 500,000 households that will receive electricity from clean renewable energy assets that are owned by the community. And that is what we want to do. That's what we want to achieve. There's a couple of other fantastic players in this field, and one of them won an award earlier, Abundance and Pure Leapfrog. And I think there's a lot of discussion always as soon as you go into the corporate sector about competition. It has been said a number of times here. This market just needs to grow enormously. There is absolutely no reason why, in my opinion, not every single generating asset, every single electricity power plant in the UK can be community owned. If you look at the size, it's possible, and that is what we should be working towards. One generation is all it takes. We just need a lot of people to actually just go for it, and that's really the message I want to get across. So we need communities, we need individuals in those communities to stand up, to be champions for renewable energy, for community energy. And that's why I'm really glad to be here at the PEA Awards, where all these initiatives are just so fantastically put in the spotlight. So thank you very much.